Going live. Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and whatever else you want to call yourself. Welcome to the show. Nomad had some opinions on some things he would like to share with you, and under no circumstances whatsoever will there be any rants. He's just going to be a nice, calm, and quiet gentleman. This we all know.
There'll be a rant. We won't start off with one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? We're not going to start off with one. In fact, the story we're starting off with today, all right, is harken back to your days as a little crumb cruncher. Something that didn't exist, by the way, when I was growing up. But think of yourselves as little crumb crunchers, and you're 3 years old, and you see Elmo. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about Sesame Street. Yes, they have a place called Sesame Place. I didn't know about this place. Apparently, there's a theme park for Sesame Street. Didn't know. To be honest, they did the right thing in not bringing out Big Bird, but that's a separate issue. Sesame Place apologizes after a video shows two black girls being passed over at a parade. Sesame Place, Philadelphia. Philadelphia, huh? All right, has issued an apology, and for those who don't know, during a professional football game, okay, back in I think it was the late '60s, early '70s, the Philadelphia Eagles fans in the Philadelphia Stadium, all right, booed and threw snowballs at Santa Claus. Just putting it out there, okay? So you understand. You understand something about Philadelphia. They also call it the city of brotherly love.
Yeah.
Whatever, okay? Philadelphia has some aspects to it. Let's leave it at that. Anyway, Sesame Street, or Sesame Place, Philadelphia, has issued an apology and said its employees will undergo more training following backlash from a video showing an employee in a Sesame character costume seemingly ignoring two small black girls during the parade. The video shows the two girls decked out in Cookie Monsters and Abby Cataby. I don't have any idea what the hell a Cataby is. All right.
Nope.
Sparky backpacks waiting alongside the parade as a person in a costume of another character, Rosalita? Rosita? I don't know how do you say that word. Rosita? Rosita? Rosita. Okay, I guess it's Spanish. All right, makes their way down. Before reaching the girls, the character gives out a high fives to another small child and an adult, both who appear white. The Sesame employer reaches the two black girls who have their arms outstretched, and the character waves them off and keeps walking, leaving the girls with looks of confusion and disappointment. The adult who was with the children posted the video on Instagram and said that they were on their way out of the park, but they stopped for the parade because the girls wanted to see the characters. Okay. Now,
and if you look at the thing before it got to the black girls, it waved people off before then too, because they were across this blatant yellow line telling them to back up. Because if you were across the yellow line, it was not allowed to touch them.
Well, then why did he come out with a taser? Why did you say this is the tasing line? Anybody who steps over this line, we have the right to tase you.
It wouldn't be so bad, but I actually kind of like the sound of that.
Think of all the people. Think of the opportunities that would present you. Not saying anything, but
real, on video, he waved off kids before he even got to the black girl, high-fived another kid, and then waved off the two little black girls because they were in front of the yellow line, and you're supposed to wave them off, tell them to get back so they don't get hit by the 2-mile-an-hour parade vehicle.
Okay, but Now, when I was growing up, back in the day, all right, now, granted, it was the horse and buggy time for some of you who have that opinion. But you didn't worry about people getting run over, all right, by parade floats.
No.
Okay? You didn't worry about them being run over by the marching band. You didn't worry about the kids running into the streets and giving their dad a hug because he was walking in the parade and then running back into the crowd, which happened a lot. All right? Why is it now that we got to worry about this stupid nonsense? Okay?
Because stupid parents don't parent.
Yep. I shall agree with you there.
I don't think it's... Stupid people didn't parent back in the past, too. Okay? It's just that when a stupid parent, when a stupid person didn't parent their kids and their kids freaking died as a result of their own stupidity, nobody came around and said, oh, you should sue for that. No, they looked at the parent and said, you were a dumbass. It's tragic. Maybe your other kids will be better off, you dumbass. Look what you've done. And they went back into their class saying, did you hear about Suzanne's freaking child? Did you hear about John's child getting run over because they didn't teach their kids right from wrong?
Mm-hmm.
This is the problem with our entire society. All right? No, we got the Sesame Street version of this, and this is a Sesame Street version of this. Now, personally, when you think about it, Sesame Street didn't teach you lessons like Bambi did. Okay? Remember the stories of Bambi and Old Yeller? Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember the old days where the bad people were bad people?
Yeah.
Did you remember Bambi's mother being shot by the hunters and eaten? I'm assuming she was eaten. They didn't show it. No, I don't know anything. But you get my point.
Yeah.
Bambi's mom didn't have a rack. Of course she wasn't eaten.
What do you mean? You trust me. If you're able to
No,
shoot...
she was just poached for the hide.
No. Where do you come up with that? Deer season is deer season. Now, granted, some deer they don't have doe seasons. You can only shoot the male deer. But if you have a deer season where does are taken, they're eaten just as quickly. In fact, they're more highly prized meat wise than the male deer.
I gotta come up with some counter argument for you.
Fair point. I'd like to interrupt here and point out, Charty, why was you looking at Bambi's mum's boobs? I mean, you're the one saying she had no rack. What is going on with you? What is wrong with you, woman?
Deer antlers, you rotten Brit.
Only a Brit would make a comment like that. The Americans are too busy going, yeah, I bet that venison was very tasty. The Brits are going, well, we're not allowed to eat venison here because that's the king's deer. We don't know what that tastes like. Am I wrong?
No.
They're small.
We're probably more interested in shooting the Muppets, let's be completely fair. Okay? Hey, Elmo! Boom! Double barrel shotgun.
Let's be honest. The one thing Elmo needs more than anything else is a good ass beating. All right? Because that kid is just too stupid. Okay? that kid has learned the wrong lesson. He needs to have a good freaking sit down, all right, where the babysitter is that stupid Oscar the Grouch. Okay? It's like, Elmo, it's time for your beating. Because Elmo needs to be beaten. All right?
Yeah. I'm okay
Tickle
with
me, Elmo. Shut up, Elmo. I'm trying to watch the TV.
Oh, I wonder if they're actually going to produce a new version and call it Taser Me, Elmo. What do you think?
Taser me, Elmo.
Or is this just me having ideas?
This nonsense about... Now, I can see saying, please stay behind the yellow line so that you don't interfere with the parade as you go through. Right, because they have a parade every time there. That's fine. I can understand that. But this idea of, go back, no, I'm sorry. He should have stood up there and gave the girl a hug and then tossed her over the yellow line. All right, how tough would that have been? Give her a hug. Yeah. Hi! You too! Oh, no, you don't get to run back to Mom. Come back here! You get the flyaway treatment too!
Okay,
no.
granted, I have to say, I'm that bad person that's thinking of creeping up behind the kids and shoving them out into the middle of the road. But that is just because, it's hot, so everyone deserves it.
You're just in a bitter mood because it's like, oh my god, it's hot out here. It's what is it now? 80 something degrees right there.
85 or
Yeah.
86 to be accurate.
So
Yeah.
he's a bit bitter. I can understand this because in Britain you don't have AC.
It's just true, we don't. It's one that, in all fairness, AC is hardly worth the effort. Okay, you get AC, you turn it on for 4 days a year, and that's it, total.
Let me
So we
ask.
just don't bother.
Let me ask the question. Those four
Hmm.
days would be nice though, wouldn't they?
Oh, hell yeah! I know, I surely do agree with you there. They really, really would. Oh, mate, it gets horrible. It really does.
I mean, I look. I don't live in a uh, built-up area. I live in Tucson, but the western cities aren't. They're not full of skyscrapers and tenement buildings and things like that, right?
Yeah.
Unlike London, New York, and these areas, right? And I
Yeah.
can imagine how miserable it would be in those kind of areas. All right, I mean, I really can.
Oh, yeah.
All right, but I can tell you this: even when I was in the U.S. Army and we were playing around in the sandbox, you know what we came with? Air conditioning. Okay.
Actually, as we're talking about heat, there is actually a building in London, and it's absolute genius. This, if the sun reflects off of it at the right amount, it literally blinds people and melts the floor as they walk along.
we had
That is how intelligent we are. We've created a building that will kick your ass if you go down that street.
we actually did that, and L.A. did that as well. But people were smart enough to go, hey, making this a solar collector here is a bad idea, and they actually had to muck it up so that it couldn't reflect the sun's rays because there was a spot
Yeah.
that did that. It was quite hilarious actually. Right? I think it's a homeless shelter now. Anyway, it's a joke. It's a joke, folks. It's a joke.
It's
Okay.
not, but carry on.
All right. From the Jerusalem Post, Ben Shapiro, you've spun your last. Drydell says armed far right activist in a video.
It's dreidel.
Dreidel, excuse me.
Yeah,
Dreidel.
it's okay.
Groper movement activist Adrian Duncan, or Adian
Aiden.
Duncan, joked about
Yeah.
shooting American Jewish commentator Ben Shapiro in an Instagram video. If he said that as a joke, then he needs to be arrested. All right. All right, Ben Shapiro, you spun your draft dreidel. All right, said the extreme far right activist in a video before he fired 3 shots from a revolver at a gun range in a video posted by the informant's Nick Martin on Monday. Aiden Duncan, who also goes by the pseudonym of Smiley the Friend.
Okay.
Smiley the Friend. Joked about shooting the American conservative Jewish political commentator Shapiro in a now deleted Instagram video of Duncan at a gun range in Nevada, Martin reported. Okay. Now, first of all, I'm going to be real blunt with you. I had never even heard of a frickin' groiper. What the heck? I really don't. I mean, I really don't understand that. There's a movement where they call themselves groipers. Is this an actual movement?
I have never heard of such a thing, but it sounds really strange.
Okay.
Just saying.
Now I know that there's anti-Semites. Okay, they do exist. Okay, a guy from Colorado firing a gun range in Nevada makes me wonder. Okay, what's this about? Okay,
Hmm.
I don't know.
Just so it said, okay, you call them anti-Semite. Over here, we call them Labour Party supporters. It's very similar.
Okay. All right. I've been. I'm not saying that there are not anti-Semites, because they do exist. Okay, why they think that Ben Shapiro is a problem? All right, aside from, quite frankly, with all due respect, I'm not saying Ben Shapiro isn't a commentator people like and everything else, but his voice has a tonal quality that sounds like frickin' cat scratching on a chalkboard. Okay, it really does. He's got that high voice, right?
Yeah.
And he's got that New York delivery, and it's like, oh, this just does not. I can't listen to the guy. I literally can't. It's not because what he's saying bothers me. All right, generally, the reason I can't listen to him is that voice quality is like, no, that's gotta go. All right, why can't he have a nice sultry voice, or a nice deep voice like James Earl Jones or something like that? See, I can listen to that all day.
Yeah, I know. Here is a concept for you. Get the mental image of Ben Shapiro in your head, and now give him Barry White's voice.
Yeah, perfect. I mean, that would be awesome, wouldn't it?
Oh, it would be awesome, but I don't think he could ever do that. Still be hilarious though if he did.
Yeah, but he would be beloved, right? I'm telling you, man.
True.
It's hard to hate on Barry White simply because of the voice.
It's
No,
true.
dude, I
It's
think
true.
you're a dirt, but that voice of his. And meanwhile,
Yeah.
you're busy trying to slap your wife because she's creaming herself. You're like, shut up. Yeah,
Cough, cough, snail trail, cough, cough.
Yeah, there's something about his voice that women just go, ugh, they just melt over.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Separate issue. For those people who don't understand the things like this. But if there's a movement called groypers, first of all, if you call yourself a groyper, you're an idiot. That's like calling yourselves some kind of, gee, we're Jello slime. I mean, let's be honest. What are you? We're the sponges. Yeah, I don't think I'm joining your group. All right.
Oh, hold it, mate. Here we go. Groyper. Groypers, sometimes known as the Groyper Army, are a group of white nationalists and far-right activists, provocateurs, and internet trolls. There we go. And their picture is the frog. Don't know. If you need to ask which frog, you know something's wrong with you.
How many people use the frog as a thing?
Everybody and his grandma.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, our government workers hard at work. How an unqualified sex worker allegedly infiltrated a top Air Force lab. A senior research scientist working on advanced propulsion technologies for the United States Air Force duped a contractor into hiring an unqualified sex worker he had paid using a government charge card because he thought that she was really hot, according to the feds. The man then allegedly threatened to kill the sex worker's supervisor. Now, I'm not sure if I assume that they're not talking about the woman's pimp. All right, and himself when the scheme fell apart, but not before shifting the bulk of the project's funding elsewhere to pay her salary from a different defense firm.
Yeah, hold it. I've got an opinion here. Okay. The important part is she's an unqualified sex worker. What? She's a virgin. That is what it says. She's an unqualified sex worker. Not she's an unqualified Air Force individual, or not she's unqualified scientist. No, she's an unqualified sex worker. She's a virgin.
Yeah. The man, okay. That's according to a newly unsealed search warrant application obtained by the Daily Beast, which accuses Dr. James Gord, a highly decorated civilian Air Force employee, of installing the 32-year-old sex worker on a highly technical research project, even though she did not have a college degree or expertise in the field. The woman did not fully understand how to use basic word processing software and struggled to formulate coherent inter-office emails.
Wow.
The warrant states. In 2019, Gord tapped the woman to co-chair a scientific panel for unsuspecting photonics researchers designing turbine engines, detonation engines, scramjets, and rockets.
Okay.
No charges had yet been filed against Gordon prior to his death last September of unspecified causes. So this guy died last September and you still don't know how he died?
No, they said unspecified, which means they possibly do know how he died, syphilis, but they're just not going to say it out loud. Gonorrhea, you know. That's all.
You go syphilis, gonorrhea. You know what comes to my mind? 4 iron,
Go.
tire iron, angry wife.
Fair point. Mm-hmm.
The warrant says that he first came into the attention of the Air Force investigators in March of 2019 after the CEO and chief research scientist of a company that provided the Air Force Research Lab in Ohio with laser imaging for turbine engines reached out with a raft of highly troubling allegations. And this apparently is the guy, the civilian. First of all, let's start with the fact that, dude, who dressed you?
Virgin.
All right, look at this suit he's got on. Okay,
Right.
the tie,
Yeah.
the white collared shirt, I can deal with. The face is the face God gives you. There's nothing you can do about. But you don't get into a plaid suit. Okay, that's freaking stupid. Where did you pick this up? Where can you even find these things? Okay? I've often wondered about some of the people with some of the suits they come out with. Where did you find it? Let alone... Now, let's not talk about how bad it is first. Let's find out... Or why you put it on. Let's find out how the hell did you even get a hold of this material? Who the hell wears this?
Could you imagine going to one of your meetings and you see that?
This mommy made it for him. You be nice.
Oh, my
Oh
God.
God, there's a horrible. I know. Actually, you know what? Shorty might be right. The hooker might have got it for him. Oh, she hated him.
But Roy had become alarmed by Gord's behavior and contacted the Air Force Office of Special Investigations, saying Gord was engaging in unethical government contract negotiations, had communicated threats of violence, and was regularly soliciting prostitution while on the installation.
Wow.
All right, now let's stop right here.
I don't give a fuck about the hooker. I sincerely think his mama made it for him. The hooker ain't got that kind of sewing skill.
That's fair.
Let's talk about something. He's on an Air Force base or an Air Force installation, and he's soliciting for prostitutes. Now, you've been on an Army base, Jensen.
Yeah.
How many hot prostitutes do you see plying their wares on the base? Not we're taking onto the base after plying their wares. I'm talking about are busy plying their wares while on the base.
Yeah, it's a kind of an awkward thing to admit, but you are sort of vaguely technical right. But I'm just going to remind you, you look at 95% of the women at the bars just as you leave the base.
I'm not arguing that point, okay? But on the base, you not see them roaming around.
No.
All right, well,
no,
you do not see them looking to drum up business. They don't have their cards out. Let's put it that way, right?
He says cards. We know exactly what he meant by sticking them out. Carry on.
Actually, well, they were little red lights, but that's a separate issue.
Kinky.
Well, the red light district has a reason.
I know. I'm sorry. I just got this mental image of her having her nipples pierced with little glowing red lights on it. Sorry, that's where my imagination went.
She was working with laser research and measuring devices.
Exactly. There's a whole load of possibilities right there.
All right. Now, I'm glad that they caught this guy. Well, I would like to know, like I said, how he died. Not too interested in it, but I would be curious to know if his wife took it out on him. But
Yeah.
as the story goes on, they tried to interview this guy's wife. These reporters did. Look, dumbasses, that's not the person you try to interview.
No.
Okay? With all due respect, don't go to the widow, all right, for a story. For one thing, if she truly loved her husband, she's probably grieving. All right?
Yeah.
Two, she might be, trying to defend herself in court from the 4-iron. But that's a separate issue. All right? That's not the person to go to about a story like this. Or, for that matter, the hooker who can't write an email. Trying to interview the hooker, which they actually said that she was not available for comment.
I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. What was a mouthful? Sorry.
They did
sorry.
mention
I'm sorry.
They did mention her skill set along those lines later in the storyline, but I'm not going to go there. All right.
Okay.
I doubt it was mouthful either. He doesn't look all that
Now here's another story
silly.
about the military, U.S. military.
Mm-hmm.
Citing recruiting woes, the Army will shed up to 28,000 troops next year. Now, I'm going to stop right here just with this image. Where was this taken? This was taken on a program for the Illinois Army National Guard.
Yoga.
For soldiers.
What frickin' loon does PT indoors?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. All right, this is bullshit. On June 12, 2022, you're gonna tell me you're indoors? You wonder about the U.S. military? I gotta start wondering who's in charge of this unit. Because who's ever in charge of this, whoever the NCO is that's in charge of this, they need to have his ass kicked up around his ears. And I'm not exaggerating this.
No.
Oh, it's a little too hot out, boys and girls. We gotta do PT indoors. What? Is that what you're gonna do? This is the reason.
Is it raining outside?
I don't give a shit. What does rain have to do with anything?
I don't know, but I've been telling Jensen and anyone else who will listen, you usually don't because you're usually screaming at me, that the military has been going down 4 years.
That's true. She has said this, and
She's
yes,
not
they
wrong. I can't argue with your point. It's not that I don't listen. It's I don't disagree with you. Okay, but I'm serious. We did PT in the flipping blizzard in the snow. All right, when I was going through training. Okay, we did not. We got to do it indoors. There was no indoors. You're running through snow, you're running through sleet, you're running through freaking horrific friggin' weather.
Oh, yeah?
All right? And believe it or not, when you walked out there in that freezing frigid weather, you were cold until you started doing PT because it was enough to warm you up. I guarantee you.
Oh, yeah.
And
I've been saying since they decided to lower the standards to allow women in the fucking Marines that everything's going downhill and all the other countries are raising their goddamn standards and laughing at us.
The Marines, it isn't having women Marines because the Marines had the fittest women. I can guarantee you this. All right, you saw a woman. She might not be the prettiest woman, but I guarantee you she had less than 2% body fat. Okay.
Not that they're lowering their standards. To let more in, though, is what's bothering me.
Oh no, I agree with you there.
All the other military branches are lowering their standards.
Yes, I know.
To let more women in, to be, what's the word? Equality. What? I don't fucking care. I don't care if you're a woman or not. You should be able to do what you're supposed to do. Get into the Army.
You've seen the arguments that I've had with these people in the past already. You know what these loons are like. Yeah. Oh, I'm just as good as you are. No, you're not.
No.
Okay. And you can argue about that. You can bitch about it, but you can't sit up there and face reality. All right, 60
Mm-hmm.
pounds is 60 pounds. It doesn't care if you're a woman or a man. And
No.
when you take something that was 60 pounds that you're supposed to be able to lift over your head, and you turn that from 60 pounds being a single qualifier to, okay, well, that's a two-man lift. Oh, we can't use the word man now anymore, so we'll make it a three-person lift. 60 pounds is a three-person lift? How the hell do you carry your normal-sized rucksack? I'm serious. Because I
I would
guarantee
put it
you, if
on
you
your
sit up
shoulder.
there, if you take a combat loadout, Jensen will testify this. If you take a combat
Mm.
loadout, it is easily 45 to 50 pounds.
Oh yeah. And that's assuming the lads haven't decided it's funny and fill it full of bricks. And you know that happens too.
Never do the
Yes,
lieutenants
that
though.
happened on this
That's a
evening.
separate issue. The Ruperts get away anyway. But they're doing this indoors. And we're gonna do
Take
our
a 60-pound
one,
kid and
two.
deadlift it
These
down and lift her over my shoulder.
now these are stretching exercises. It looks like at the beginning of the PT stuff, right?
Warm up. Yeah.
Yeah, but which is okay. I can get that, but indoors, sorry, no. You're supposed to be outdoors doing this shit. I mean that's the way it always used to be. It used to be you ran in the winter, you ran in the rain, okay. And guess what? If it was raining outside, the first thing they do is they'd start taking you on that frickin' run, and you would run straight out, so however far that they wanted to go before you turned around. And the reason for it is because if somebody at some point said, "Hey, we're running in lightning?" they would say, "Well, we still got to run all the way back."
Yep.
Just, I'm telling you, that's the way it was. Now, if it was, I'll be honest, if it was a huge blizzard outside, they would probably say, "Okay, we're going to cancel it for today." Okay, there were points where they would say no one's moving outside. Okay, but those
I'm
were
saying
very
nothing.
rare. Those were very rare events. Okay, when you
Mhm.
can't see outside because the snowdrifts are in front of your thing, they'll cancel it under those conditions for the day.
What about a
Right?
tornado?
And well, no, they'll cancel PT for the day, and then they'll hand you a snow shovel and tell you to clear the walkway. Okay.
That part is fair. But Nomad, I don't know how it was with you guys, but basically, if there was a blizzard and you was going running, you kept in line because you followed the idiot in front of you.
Oh yeah, you
That
had
was it.
you had your head down and you were just going to
Oh
run
yeah.
there. It is how people did get whacked, from time to time.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But they would if they canceled PT, they then handed you some kind of implement to shovel something because that's probably what you were doing.
Yep.
All right, enough about the Americans. Time to go for the Brits.
I seriously thought they were doing yoga though, because it looked like the guy behind him
No,
actually had.
that,
It looked like his leg.
that's a
Oh,
believe it or not,
God.
that's a stretching exercise. That's a common one.
Oh.
Race to become the UK Prime Minister down to the final two: Rishi Sunak and Liz Truss.
Truss.
Excuse me.
Yeah. Just for those that want to get some sort of humour out of this, the word truss over here is also an implement used for carrying testicles. So technically, her name is Liz Ball Carrier. Okay, no, I know, but can you imagine that being Prime Minister? I mean,
as long as she walks
wow.
up, dragging Rishi behind her like that, that'd be kind of cool. All right.
Yeah.
The former finance minister Rishi Sunak and foreign secretary Liz Truss will battle it out to become Britain's next prime minister after they won the final lawmaker vote, setting up the last stage of the contest to replace Boris Johnson. Sunak has led all rounds in the voting among conservative lawmakers, but it is Truss who seems to have gained the advantage so far among the 200,000 members of the governing party who will ultimately choose the winner. 200,000 members? I thought you said this was just like the MPs that were voting.
All right. It's the MPs that were voting up until this point. Then it goes to the other members of the Conservative Party. Okay? So I didn't actually give you false information. You just assumed that it was a carry-on point.
I'm,
No, there's a break-off. Okay?
I can't assume anything because I just don't understand any of it.
Fair point.
Okay. The final stretch of the weeks-long contest will pit Sunak, the former Goldman Sachs banker. There's strike two. Okay. Who raised the tax burden toward the highest level since the 1950s. Strike three. Why is this guy even in office, you guys?
Oh, it gets better. That guy, as you so eloquently put it, has a green card for working in America and still does. Yeah, you heard me. You could get stuck with him.
How did you guys even allow him anywhere near your freaking political thing? Against Truss, a convert to Brexit, who has pledged to cut taxes and regulation.
Okay, again, your point was a convert to Brexit. What that means is, was a Remainer. That's what they're trying to say, but they're trying to put it in a nicer term.
Well, did she fully convert to Brexit, or is she going to try and go back?
Are you asking me officially or unofficially?
Well, I'm asking your opinion, so whatever your
Oh, my
opinion
opinion,
is.
she is most definitely going to want to go back to it, or at least that's what she's probably going to be pushing for, and that is going to drive people up a freaking wall.
Now you saw me go strike two against poor Rishi. You were wondering what strike one was. He was a former finance minister. Okay. Now, that being said, okay, as negative as that is, the foreign secretary goes right on up there. Okay? Ranks right up. For me, Secretary of State, if you've got a Secretary of State by your name, it's like, okay, you're not trusted, strike one. I don't care who you are. And our greatest Secretary of State, for whatever reason, all right, for as people think of him as, was Henry Kissinger. Okay? You know who Henry Kissinger actually was? Have you seen that movie with Peter Sellers? All right. How I Learned to Love the Bomb, or whatever the hell that was called.
Oh my God. Okay. Wow.
That's how I picture Henry Kissinger. All right. He's a former East German.
Yeah.
Now, granted, he's a practical individual, but he's also the jackass who totally screwed up our dealings with Vietnam. Now, granted, they were already screwed up before he took over. I'm not going to deny that. But you don't say, well, we're going to have secret negotiations and then invite the entire French press in.
That was classic. Yeah.
Check. Just putting it out there, folks. Just putting it out there.
Yeah.
Now, so you have so it looks like it's Truss. Your next prime minister is going to be this Truss person.
No, it's a mix between either Truss or Rishi Sunak, and I'll be honest with you, I think it's going to be Rishi Sunak. Am I happy about this? Hell to the fuck no.
Well,
can I do anything about it? No.
According to this article, and I'm just going by this article, which was written by Elizabeth Piper and Andrew McCaskill. McCaskill. I get how it's
not names that I remember.
From Reuters. They're saying that because Mordaunt is out.
Yep.
Okay, that between the two of them, they're going to form a block against the Sunak voters.
Here is my problem, okay? All the way through, he's been really close to getting the 120 votes that he wouldn't even need to be in for the voting up until the very end. Seriously, he has been getting that many successes. Even if Mordaunt and Truss actually... that should give you a clue exactly how I think of her. Oh, by the way, just so we're clear, it's not that I'm supporting Rishi by any stretch of the imagination. I consider him slightly less useful than fungal toe rot, but it's possibly better than ball carrier. Okay.
Okay, what has ball carrier done that has gathered your ire to such a degree?
She wasn't part of the Conservative Party. She left the Liberal Democrats.
Okay, strike
And
two.
do I
I'll give you.
honestly? Do I need?
I'll give you strike two there. I'll even give
Okay.
you. I'll even give you an extra half. Okay.
Uh-huh. Do you now understand why it's like this is not going to go well? Okay. Originally, we had a woman, Kemi something or other, Bladen Black or I don't know. She was all right. She was halfway decent, and if you'd have asked the air quotes common man, i.e., the non-conservative MPs, she was really well liked. I do mean really well liked. Unfortunately, it's obviously all politics. Basically, you scratch my back, I could consider giving you a job in my party. Is pretty much what's going on. And it will be Rishi, and you'll find that ball carrier will be allowed to join.
So basically, you're getting rid of the frat boy.
Yeah.
Okay, and let's be perfectly frank. That's how Boris Johnson approached the government.
Yeah.
Okay, he approached it like it was a frat party.
Oh yeah.
Right. I never understood how you could approach it like that, but he did. Okay.
Yeah.
It's an unfortunate aspect of that, right? Because you would think after the first bashing, he would sit up there and said, "Okay, we can't do this stupid shit again," but he just kept on doing it. He kept having, and when I talk about parties, what was he getting into trouble for? Having party after party after party in 10 Downing Street, right?
Dude, at one point, 8 days went past and there were 12 different parties. 8 days.
Okay, see?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Ready for the next story?
Oh yeah.
You sure? We haven't even gotten to the story that the contribution by Sherardi yet. And yes, Sherardi, I'm going to do that story.
Mm-hmm.
Keeping the hippie dream alive. Really? Let's see what the hippie dream is. The guide stood before the small group in a dimly lit teepee. Oh, joy of joy. Boy, this is going to be good. Do you want to be entertained or to go deep? He asked. The answer came in giddy unison. Go deep! Good, it was a trick question, he said. Now, personally, all right, do you see a problem here? Do you start to see a problem with this already? All right, let alone the picture, right? Because I can see some kind of stupid native. No, this is not even a native dance. The native Indians would not do a dance like this, folks.
No.
All right. People got cozy on pillow-strewn floor as the guide went to his keyboard. Gentle synthesizer music filled the tent. Gentle synthesizer music. They don't even know what they're listening to by this point because they're out of their friggin' minds. The ceremony sound bath had begun. Nearby, men and women in flowing white garb and fedoras, all right, sat around a fire, munching on mind-altering fungi. Others convened for a cannabis puffing prayer session, during which their helpers passed out joints and sang singing bowls. Or rang singing bowls.
Mm-hmm.
Where was this? At a gathering place in Chuyama Valley in California, where some 200 people convened for a weekend of tripping and glamping hosted by Double Blind, a new media outlet for the psychedelic set.
Oh dear.
This is vermin. Okay? This is vermin. Okay? Now, why doesn't it surprise me that Double Blind was started by two journalists? Shelby Hartman and Madison Margolin.
How did you have to be to want to do stupid shit like that, let alone dress up like that? Because I couldn't imagine waving my arms around, hanging onto those big ass fucking curtains.
They're online courses ranging from $70 or $75 to $170 on topics including how to use psychedelics, how to microdose, how to grow mushrooms.
How about no? And let's say we didn't.
Classic materials promise to teach you everything you need to know to get the most out of your journey with these powerful medicines.
How about let's take too many and complete the Darwin theory?
I'm okay with that concept.
We have ads touted a chance to connect with fellow psychonauts at our first psychedelic festival.
Yeah.
Can I be a supplier? Can I supply the dope? Let me supply the dope, okay?
All I'm going to say is it's going to be really fun when you start giving them peyote repeatedly just to see what happens.
You just want to destroy everybody, whether it be by huge stones falling from the sky or huge stones that they accidentally destroy themselves with.
Do you think that we need to wait for God to throw a rock, or do you want to just start throwing a few rocks early on to see if we can prevent the big one God's got coming?
I like this plan. Get rid of the stupid. They're already in California waiting.
I'm an atheist, dude. You do what you gotta do to get rid of the stupid.
See, we got her on board. We have a convert.
Yeah.
Two and more Gentiles set from the Wall Street Journal. Why more people are dating without drinking? Now, I know what you're all thinking. What? America's sobering up? What is this? Does it sound like the hedonistic trip of humanity is over? Hold on. From Rachel Wolf. More people in the dating game are starting their search with alcohol off the table. Instead, those daters say they prefer to meet potential partners for coffee, a favorite hobby, or a stroll. What the hell's a favorite hobby? We'd like to go to the quilting bee.
I would like to crochet, maybe knit. How about we make a hat? Let's go together.
What's your hobby? Oh, let's go to a model building contest.
Yes.
Okay.
A block of wood or ride a bike. Do you know how to swim?
Okay. The pandemic upped daters' desire for genuine connection, and drinking gets in the way of that connection, some say. In addition to being expensive and less healthy. There it is, folks. Less expensive. Because booze has gone up far more than almost everything else. Something that used to cost $20 is now close to $40, and it's not an exaggeration for certain whiskeys. Okay, it is unbelievable. Glenfiddich used to be about $80 to $90 a bottle, right? Like a liter type style bottle.
Mm-hmm.
It is now close to $200.
Ouch. Mm-hmm.
Right? And that's supposedly the good stuff. It's really mid-tier stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
days when you have to go, do you know how to swim or ride a bike?
More than a third of the people at the dating app Hinge, all right, say that they are more open to going on a sober date now versus a year ago, according to a June survey. The preference is particularly pronounced among younger users, with 31% of 18 to 24-year-olds, all right, on the app saying that they don't consume drinks on an average date. Liars! Okay?
Oh, yeah.
They are full of freaking shit. If you're gonna tell me that this is the rate now, and walk on any college campus and tell me how true this is, okay? On Tinder, mentions of sober have increased 26%. That means out of every 10,000, where it used to be 1, it's now 2.
Yep.
Okay, that's the kind of difference that this is making. All right, I'm sorry, but I just don't see this. Right, it's already up another 22% this year, according to the company. Mentions of the word beach, all right, 10%. Picnic, 23%, are up from the beginning of the last year, suggesting that people are meeting up for more than just drinks. Yeah.
I'm not even going there. Mm-hmm.
Right. Zilat Petrawala, all right, describes her pandemic dating life as pretty formulaic. The 40-year-old, we'll stop right there. 40-year-old? 40-year-old? The 40-year-old who works in a health tech corporate development says a dinner date or drinks puts so much conversational pressure on both parties it felt unnatural. Oh, so you're not going to bother to talk. Is that what you're trying to say?
You know exactly what this is, don't you? It's basically just another way to get a quick bunk up. Okay? It's a way of meeting people and having a quick key.
All right. This gets even better.
Talking is unnatural.
All right.
Because everybody's a keyboard warrior nowadays. MC, don't you understand? Everybody hides behind a computer. They don't know how to talk face to face anymore.
Okay. Lately, first dates have taken Ms. Petrawala. Petrawala. I'm not trying to butcher your name intentionally. Not that I care. All right. Who recently moved, get this, from San Francisco to Brooklyn, surfing and hiking in Brooklyn? Really? You're going to go surfing and hiking in the Brooklyn area? What is it? What is it? Sprint to sprint through the bodegas? What the hell is this? Brooklyn, New York is well known for the surfers of New York.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Wow.
An art curator took her on a museum tour, and an avid outdoorsman whom she had never met in person invited her to go camping over a long weekend. She declined because of a scheduling conflict. Not the fact that the guy was probably a creep and said, let's go out to a beach in a secluded area, right?
Mm-hmm.
You were probably better off, honey. At least this one's wised up a little bit. All right, Sherardi. This is the story that Sherardi came up with. Her contribution to this. And I got to admit, it's worthy.
Oh, yeah.
It's funny.
Woman sues a man for $10,000 after a bad date unloads on a judge during the hearing. Now, stop right there. If you're the judge and you're hearing this case, you're already wrong. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
All right? The fact that you were stupid enough to take this case instead of saying this has literally no merit and throwing it out immediately, okay, is the problem we have with the American judicial system today.
Yep.
A Michigan woman had her lawsuit transferred out of court after she snapped at a judge for questioning her knowledge of the law when she decided to sue a man for taking her out on a bad date. Quashanta Short filed a suit against Richard Jordan in 2020, accusing him of intentional infliction of emotional distress caused by the date. Really? All right. Emotional distress caused by the date. Per
Emotional
TMZ,
damage.
the legal docs allege that Richard intentionally hurt her feelings when he did not show and left on her mother's birthday, and her mom had just passed away. Quashante was demanding Jordan pay her $10,000 as a result of the distress. No, bitch. He said, I've had enough of you, and said, it's over. I'm out of here. And
Yes.
gone. That's what that was. This guy's, I've got to get out of. Got too close to crazy. Got too close to crazy. During the pair's 10-minute virtual hearing with Judge Herman Marble Jr. in Flint, Michigan. Hey, Herman, you need a new job, too, because you should not have even heard this case. You should have said, no, no merit, throw it out. How the hell did you even accept this? You should be having this lawyer taken out and shot. Okay, the guy who filed this should say, "Do you really want to law? Do you really want to practice law? Because we're gonna go to the bar over this one, right? We're gonna remove your bar license for bringing this case to court." That's what should have happened here.
Yeah.
Okay, Jordan remained relatively quiet aside from speaking on how the case was a waste of the court's time. You can't argue with that, dude. You're right, you know, but you might want to start, dude. Let me tell you something right now. If you do not have a license to carry concealed, you better get one, because this one, you got too close to crazy. You don't know what cray is gonna do here. Okay, just I'm warning you now, because cray's coming. Right, Judge Marble seemed to agree with him and questioned whether Short was in the proper courtroom to handle this case. You shouldn't be in court at all. She argued that she was and accused Jordan of committing perjury as a result of a misleading statement he put on a document filed to the judge. Judge Marable Jr. stopped her and reminded her that perjury can only occur in a courtroom because it's committed under oath, which Short took offense to. He put a document that stated a lie, she said, yelling over the judge. Oh, that's always a good way to get your case put.
Oh,
all right.
yeah.
Bottom line, you said it was a criminal offense, so I will send it to circuit court. Are we done here? I know exactly what perjury means. My next comment, if I was the judge, would have been, do you know what contempt means?
Yeah.
Because I'm about ready to rule. The argument escalated from there. How does it escalate from there? With Short and the judge eventually screaming over one another. Please do not insult my intelligence, she told the judge. Do not do that. Do not insult my intelligence as if I do not understand what the word perjury means. Do not. All right, it's a criminal offense. Then it's a criminal offense.
Wow.
Judge Marable Jr. ended up transferring the case over to circuit court, which means the disgruntled pair will have to appear in front of another judge later in the date. Watch the full argument from above. Herman, why didn't you just rule? Take the gavel, put it down, and if she screamed, hit her in the head with it. Because that's what this is going to require.
They do say throw the book at them. Do this literally.
But
straight to the head.
Richard? Okay. All right. You're Richard, short for Dick. Hey, Dick, get a gun.
Run.
Arm yourself. Be prepared, because Cray Cray's on the loose.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And you just saw the judge. He was willing to listen to Cray Cray. You're already screwed twice over now. He even gave it to another judge so Cray Cray could spread her love. Get a gun. You're gonna get.
I said it gets worse.
You did. You did warn people, I have to say. Wow.
Law and Order organized crime crew member killed in New York early morning ambush. A crew member for the Law and Order organized crime was shot and killed early Tuesday morning, right, in New York, while on location for filming the show's third season. Variety has confirmed. We are terribly saddened and shocked to hear that one of our crew members was a victim of a crime early this morning, and he has died as a result, the NBC and Studio Universal Television said in a joint statement. We are working with local law enforcement as they continue to investigate. Our hearts go out to his family and friends, and we ask that you respect their privacy during this time. According to the New York Police Department, the crew member was a 31-year-old male named Johnny Pizarro, who currently lived in Queens. He was sitting in his car at approximately 5:15 a.m. Eastern Time in the Greenpoint neighborhood of Brooklyn when an unknown person approached the car, opened the door, and opened fire. Pizarro was transported to Woodhull Hospital, where he was pronounced dead on arrival. Filming was to take place in the neighborhood Tuesday, and Pizarro was there early as part of set security and parking enforcement.
Okay, so the obvious question is, what did he see? Because that's the logical reason for that to happen.
Here's what people saw. The killer was described by witnesses as wearing a black hoodie and black pants.
No, what I mean is...
Wasn't Hillary snorting crack off the hooker's ass?
What I mean is, what did he see? Because that sounds like he saw something and then someone came over and just dealt with the problem. That's what it sounds like to me, by the door being ripped open and being shot shitless. It was basically excited execution.
Yeah,
he saw something, they killed him.
This was an execution of some sort.
Yeah.
I mean, he was. It sounds like he was involved in something else that probably has nothing to do related to the show or anything, and it's unfortunate that whatever it is, he's lost his life for it, right? But this was a hit. Okay, this was not just a target of opportunity.
No.
I don't think. All right, not from the way they described this. At 5:15 a.m., it's already dark out. Okay. It's dark out at 5:15 a.m. It's like somebody hunted this guy.
Yep.
Okay, so I don't know what this is about, but this is pretty bad. Doesn't surprise me it's in New York, but it is what it is. Okay, final story of the day. You ready?
Oh, yes.
Cops hunt rogue monkey after 18 people, all right, including a baby, are injured in a 2-week rampage. Wild Japanese macaque attacked people in a western city, with police now setting up traps to try and catch the primate and stop it from targeting more people. Give them baseball bats. Okay? Japanese police are hunting a wild monkey that has attacked at least 18 people across 2 weeks in the western city of Yamaguchi. A baby and 2 4-year-old girls were also targeted by the Japanese macaque, a species that is native to the country and which can grow up to 52 centimeters tall and weigh just under 2 stones. What's a stone? 10 pounds?
14
yes,
pounds.
Please convert that.
So 14 pounds. So
yeah, per stone, so 28.
28 pounds.
Yeah,
It's a pretty good sized monkey. All right.
Yeah.
There are said to be well over 100,000 of this particular species in Japan, which live in various landscapes and terrains, from subtropical forests to mountain ranges. Right, the local or mountainous regions rather. The local mayor's office has distributed a flyer warning people to beware of the rogue animal that first struck on July 8 in the Ogori
Good luck. It's something Japanese do.
Ogori district, telling them
Yeah.
not to leave their windows open when the police have set up traps to try and catch the primate. In the more severe case, the monkey entered a family home and badly scratched the baby. This is why you need to have guns, because these are the things of these things. They're not harmless. Okay?
No.
The girl's mother told the local thing, I was vacuuming when I heard my child crying, so I turned around and saw the monkey and had grabbed her by the leg, and she was playing on the floor. Right? It looked like it was trying to drag her outside. Yeah, that probably is what it was trying to do. Okay? The 4-year-old girl also had her leg scratched by the furry intruder as it let itself into another first-floor apartment. I'm telling you, you might want to invest in a shotgun here, folks. All right, just put it out there. Because if the monkey comes in the house, you know, just put it out there. All right, these things are dangerous. Now, it may be learning. It's believed that the primate was looking for a mate, but it attacked and bit several ladies between the ages of 50 to 80. What the hell? This thing's a freaking terror. All right, this is not. Oh, this is not the first time reports of monkeys attacking people in Japan. One famous case was in 2002 when a macaque targeted 23 women in the northern town of Suwa. All right, it is believed that the primate was looking for a mate, but had attacked several ladies between the ages of 50 to 80. Residents of the city of Hugoya were also ambushed by an aggressive monkey in 2013, with 18 people falling victim to a male macaque that was eventually captured and put down. All right. During the violent spree, one man had to have 20 stitches in his arms and right legs, while he and the 17 others were paid compensation of 20,000 yen, 120 pounds each. That's not compensation, dude. That's not nearly enough compensation. Just put it out there. You need a baseball bat or you need a gun. I think you can do a good job with a baseball bat. I mean, baseball's common, right, in Japan. Shouldn't have any problems if you're walking down the street with a baseball bat. I'm just going to the local, gonna have a pickup game, right? I mean, think about it. I mean, that's what I would try.
Yeah.
Look, if this thing sit up there and started chewing on one of my children, this thing would be gone. I'm just putting it out there, right? There's reasons for guns. This is one of them. Okay, just put it out there. And Japan, I know, guns are big no-nos. Okay, but a bat should have been fine.
Oh yeah.
Okay, just put it out there.
All I can say is go anime on its ass, see how it likes it.
Now, I mean, there are certain things that are disgusting. Like, I could read this other story. But they need to take the person who did this, right? 7 dogs were doused in petrol and burned alive in sick arson attack. Yeah. This person needs to be taken out.
Burnt. Return the favour, let him see how it feels.
Right. Sunday morning saw the dogs doused in petrol before they were set alight in the family's kennels in allotments in Garden City, Rhymney. Rhymney? Rhymney. I assume this is the UK. Emma Frowen, 42, said her 2 sons and their girlfriends mainly looked after the dogs, which they had for 2 years. The murdered dogs included 2 French bulldogs named Gucci and Chanel, a pregnant cocker spaniel named Poppy, which was about to give birth, a bull cross called Yogi, and 3 bull greyhounds named Ice, Narla, and Frena. Emma, who lives 2 minutes from the kennel, described the horror of discovering the dogs screaming in agony after the attack. She was woken up in the middle of the night by her daughter-in-law, who could hear the dogs barking and saw the flames. They went to the landing and saw the fire. These are whoever did this are just a bunch of evil psychopaths. All right. It doesn't say that they've caught the person either.
No.
To be honest, I don't feel safe in my house at the moment. No shit, really? I'm trying to see if they say anything.
No.
Nope.
To be honest,
they have not caught the person. Anyone who has information, contact the Gwent police.
oh, Wales, Gwent. Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Thing is, people like that, okay, you might think, but it's only animals. One, you're scum. Two, people that do things like that will quite happily go from animals onto children and then other adults. Trust me on this one.
Well, it's one thing to sit up there and put an animal down, right? It's another thing to do it to be intentionally cruel, right?
Yeah.
I personally think that some things the PETA is upset about they take things way too far. It's one of the reasons why I bash PETA. But I'm never going to say that something like this is okay, right? This is beyond cruel, right? To do to any kind of living creature.
Yeah.
All right. Don't. This is horrific. Okay, this is outright horrific, and that's it's unfortunate that people have these kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So, anyway, that's all I've got for the day. So, time to get back to work.
Okay. All right, mate. Well, thank you very much for coming out and listening to us. And to put it bluntly, I hope they find the person who did this and burn him alive. Goodbye, ladies and gentlemen. Bye-bye.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.